One fine day, Percy was taking passengers to Plarail airfield when he saw Harold looking at the sky.
"Hello, lazy wings," said Percy cheekily. "Is it too windy for you? Take my advice. Strap your arms. Get some nice rails."
But Harold paid no attention. "I see dark clouds in the distance," he said. "There's bound to be a storm by this afternoon."
"Humph," pouted Percy. "Rain. Just the kind of weather to ruin this fine day."
The two of them ended up both being right. A storm did hit that afternoon, and it ruined the day indeed. Parts of the tracks became blocked by trees and large puddles. Lots of trains were delayed or even canceled, much to the passengers' dismay. But for all the trains that were canceled, there were those that had to stay on schedule, no matter what the weather. One of these trains is Percy's mail train. Percy was waiting for the mail to be loaded when Thomas came racing into the station. He and his coaches were soaked with rain. "Finally," sighed Thomas. "That was my last train. Now I can go to my nice dry shed." Percy made a face.
"Oh, sorry, Percy. Didn't see you there." "Lucky for me, I get to go around the whole island," said Percy sarcastically.
The last mail was put in. The conductor blew his whistle. Percy steamed out into the storm. As Percy pounded the rails, the rain fell harder than ever. He stopped at the stations, letting off some mail, and then starting again. In the distance, Percy swore that he heard thunder, and every once in a while he would see a flash of lightning. But one came very close to the rails. It hit a power line, and just like that, the power went out. Signals and houses went dead in a flash. Percy had to stop at the nearest signal. "It doesn't say red," said his driver. "But it doesn't say green either. We'll just have to wait here till the power's back."
"But the mail needs to come through," cried Percy.
"The telephone lines are also down," said the conductor. "We'll just have to wait out the storm." Though that would be easier said than done. The puddles of rainwater began to look like swimming pools. It would only be a matter of time before he reached Percy and the mail. Then they heard a familiar buzzing.
"It's Harold!"
cried Percy, and he whistled loudly and longly. Harold heard the whistle and came down.
"We need to deliver the mail," said Percy, "but we can't with the power out and the water rising. Can you please take the mail?" he asked.
"Of course. Good to be of service," answered Harold. He was soon loaded up with letters and parcels. As he took to the sky, he suddenly shouted, "The tracks are clear of trains. Go to the next station. If you stay here, you're sure to drown."
"Thank you, Harold," called Percy. "Watch out for lightning."
And with that, the two left the signal and set off. Percy and Harold charged the storm. Water swirled around Percy's wheels, and lightning flashed around Harold. But they needed to keep going. The wind pounded at them fiercely, and it seemed impossible. Though even under all that stress, the two just kept fighting, and fighting, and fighting, until finally Percy reached the station. His journey was done. But he knew the struggle wasn't over. Harold still needed to do his part. He needed to deliver the rest of the mail. The next morning, the storm had passed, and Percy returned to Plarail. But he didn't see Harold in the airfield. Percy started to worry. But then came the familiar buzzing, and just like that, Harold hovered down, battered but unbeaten.
"Good to see you back, Harold," said Percy.
"Same to you," replied Harold. "The mails and parcels have been delivered, but it appears the storm has done a lot of damage."
"Let's get to work cleaning it up," said Percy.
And with that, Percy and Harold left Plarail to join the work. So that's going to be all for this video, guys. Be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you haven't already, and let me know in the comments what you thought of this video. But that's all for now, guys. This is the Blue OJ Leader, and I'll see you later.